This is The Roadmap with Lee Heisman.
Hello everyone, this is Lee Heisman and welcome to The Roadmap. Each and every week we bring you entrepreneurs and their journey on scaling and selling their businesses. This week, we have a special guest, a good friend of mine, Ronnell Richards. Ronnell, welcome to the show.
Lee, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I knew I'd have to wear a nice colored jacket here, and plaid jacket, because I knew you'd have some style on. You're one of the few people, and this is for our listeners and our viewers out there, you're one of the few people that I watch every little bit of your Instagram and social media.
Every little bit?
Every bit that I get, I gobble it right up. And I'll tell you, you do so much. And for our viewers, Ronnell runs a podcast, you host business events, you do speaking engagements, B2B sales, personal consultations, and more. What is your advice for business owners out there saying, I need to diversify, but can I diversify too much?
Yeah, don't do everything I'm doing. No, in all seriousness, it starts with having a good team. And you know this, Lee. Having good people around you that are qualified to help you, because I've got so many things going on all the time. I've got to have people that I can delegate to and I can lean on. I will say that for me, one of the things that's helped me in my development is also like learning grace. And that may sound a little weird, grace, right? No, here's what I mean by that. When you're doing so much, you can't do everything, but you want to do everything, right? So I will end days feeling like, man, there's just something I left on the table, something that wasn't done. And what I've had to do is learn to be okay with that. Learn to be okay and keep it moving and move into the next day.
Well, you do so much and you've done it for so long. I'm sure life isn't perfect, as we all know. Yeah. You've made some mistakes along the way. For viewers out there, what are some of the mistakes that you would recommend that you've experienced that you could help people avoid?
Mistakes?
Avoiding them.
Lee, I've made zero mistakes. So, I think feeling that I was a Superman and that I could do it all. And I think that led me to neglect my mental health a bit. And, I hit a wall, and that's what happens to a lot of high achieving folks, right? And when you're doing a lot of things and not giving yourself grace, which by the way, I've really learned that in recent years from my therapist. So that's one of the things I tell my younger self, get a therapist earlier to kind of help you to navigate that part of.
Yeah, you're very open,
Ronnell.
A lot of business owners that have the success that you've had don't open up to not only friends and other entrepreneurs, but to the community like you have. You've been very open with how you've accessed and looked for help. Can you speak to that? Well,
I think at my heart, it's really about service for me. It always has been. Even in business, it's about service. I'm a sales guy at the end of the day, and I believe that sales is service. And so it's my way of serving the community, giving back, and it's cathartic for me as well. I get something from it as well.
I've been to many of your events, and I see them all the time online. You have a company, and a company called Business and Bourbon, yes, which is amazing. I've seen the bourbon, I've seen the business, I've seen it mixed together. How crucial, and you talk about so many things for entrepreneurs that join that, how crucial is it for entrepreneurs sometimes to get out of their own head, to be a part of organizations like this?
Well, Lee, I'd say that that's one of the things that hurt me early on in my career, is not having that community, right? And so what we've done with Business and Bourbon is really create a space that's safe, that's collaborative, where leaders can come together and really experience community in person, right? As opposed to just virtually. So as I look back on my career, I wish I had that sooner. So I'm really trying to provide that for the business community.
Just to give some context, Business and Bourbon just isn't a local entity here. You have entities and you hold events all over the country.
All over the country and outside of the country, but we've been to our neighbors up north in Canada as well.
Really? Okay, so how exactly do you scale something out of the country when you live here?
Yeah, well, it's taken 5 years to really build a scalable model, right? And what we do very well is we take advantage of local resources. So we get people in those local communities and we activate them, bring them into our experience, and they help us to create these great experiences in their community. But at the heart of Business and Bourbon, again, it's about education, inspiration, and motivation. And we just take that thing, that magic, and we're able to distribute it wherever, right? So we can do it. We've had successful Business and Bourbon events all over the country, big cities, small cities, and the vibe is the same at every single one.
Well, you speak of magic, and I think I caught some magic. I happened to catch some magic right here.
Yeah.
And you've launched a book, Shut the Hell Up and Sell. So first off, getting right to the point, I love it. This book looks beautiful, and it also what's that?
End of interview then.
Yeah, precisely. That's it.
Need.
Cut it off right here. But I love the directness of this book. Now, first off, where can people get this? And then speak to this book a little bit for me.
Well, all things Shut the Hell Up and Sell. You can go to shutthehellupandsell.com.
How do you forget that?
You can't forget it.
Fair.
And we've made sure, this is another business tip, we've made sure to get every URL that is similar to shutthehellupandsell.com as well. Also available on Amazon.
So speak to the book a little bit, because I listen to everything you say. Anytime you speak, as I mentioned, on social media or at your events, is the book just another thing that I'm listening to from you? Is it different? Talk about what real theme you have here.
Yeah, and so what this book is it's a piece of me. As you look at that book, Lee, when you picked it up the first time and you felt it.
Oh, I love the texture of it.
You see the texture, you see the design. It's designed to be a notebook. I want it to be your guidebook to sales, not a textbook. You see, for years of my career, what I've done is I write notes. I'm a note guy, right? Whether it was my business ideas, my sales ideas, and what I've tried to do is take all of those teachings, put it in that book, and really help people to connect philosophy with sales, right? Because I feel like that's what's missing from the sales training and sales coaching world, is really understanding the why behind the actions that we need to take to be successful.
Well, so that's what we speak about here on the roadmap. We're really talking about people scaling their business as well as going to an exit or selling their business. And you've had some experience with that. You actually, at a moment in one of your businesses, said, I want to go out to sell that. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, and here's what I learned, Lee. I learned that I couldn't sell it. And the reason I couldn't sell it, I think, is one of the mistakes that a lot of founders make. They are too important to the business. You see, I was the business. We were making great money, and so I wanted to explore the opportunity rather to maybe sell that business, exit that business, and go into something else. But as I started to go through the valuation process, they're like, well, business is great, but you're too important to the business. People want to buy the business and not necessarily you. So that would be my advice for founders out there. Make sure that you're putting frameworks in place. Make sure you're putting systems in place and people in place, so where the business isn't totally or mostly reliant on you.
Well, I love following you and what you're doing in the present, but what does the future hold for Ronnell Richards?
Wow. What a big, beefy question.
Well, you're doing so much. Are you going to add more to it? Yeah. Are you going to chop down a little bit? I mean, there's so many choices in so many directions.
Lee, I am a business artist, right? An artist doesn't stop painting. An artist doesn't stop writing. That is what I love to do. I'm just so passionate about it. So, we're going to continue to grow the brands that I'm involved in now. And 5 years from now, who knows? Maybe I'll be working with one of your viewers. Maybe I'll be working with you on a business idea. But absolutely going to be continuing to grow the brands that we have. And I always keep my eyes open for other opportunities.
So I know you answered our final question early, which was, what is the one piece of advice you'd provide entrepreneurs that are looking to sell? I know that you said scale the business and make sure you're not the most important and only piece of it. But I want to go back to that experience you had where you said, I tried to sell the business. They said, hey, it's all you on your shoulders. It isn't just that. I want to know what actually prompted you to say, I would like to consider selling now. What sparked you to even take that first step?
Yeah, I think for me at that time, it was maybe a slight loss of passion, right? Because I'm a creator, I'm an artist. I like to fancy myself a bit of a business artist. So at that point in that particular business, I felt like I wanted to do more things. And I didn't at that time have the resources, financial or human capital, to really be able to do other things at the same time.
So as I've been talking, and I talk to our viewers, I've been talking a lot to our viewers, and of the social media, the billions of social media posts that are out there, this is the only guy whose social media that I watch and I look at. So Ronnell, if I do have viewers out there that want to hit your social media, see what you're all about, where would they go to?
Everywhere. Everywhere. But please start at RonnellRichards.com. That is the conduit to every single platform. That is the conduit to all of my businesses as well. And I would welcome the opportunity to chat with any of your viewers. So if you guys go to the website, reach out to me, to myself or my team. Let me know that you saw me on this program, and I'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah, I love your website. I just emailed you the other day and said I
You
love
did.
the revision of your website. It's wonderful. Ronnell, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Lee, thanks for the opportunity. This was a blast.
It's wonderful, guys. And for our viewers out there, keep tuning in for new episodes each week of The Roadmap.
Thanks for watching The Roadmap with Lee Heisman. This has been a JBF Business Media production.